Meet the sheriffs.
Hello, enforcement agents!
Here with a High Court order today.
They work for the High Court, and if it says you're owed money, it's their job to get it.
Hey, all the keys.
I'm going to be calling a locksmith.
They can demand payment
What can you pay us now?
We're going to get the cash, are you?
Are you paying the bill?
or remove assets.
You've got 30 minutes to make the payment.
And we'll start removing stuff from the building.
7 days, and then they'll be sold at public auction.
Obstructing their work is a criminal offence.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Don't lie to me.
That's number one on.
Every year, sheriffs in England and Wales recover unpaid debts totalling more than £95 million. Coming up, Davis Seahorn was left reeling by a company which sold him a faulty car.
Whenever I contacted them about it, they were just really aggressive down the phone. How dare you bring this issue to us? You have no right to come and waste our time.
When the sheriffs go to get the money he's owed, the aggression turns to threats.
I'll put you in this area on your quicker than you can say goodbye.
Okay,
Yeah?
mate, okay.
Send you home naked.
Okay.
And a landlord's hit hard when squatters take over his property.
Yeah, they racked up a £3.5 grand electricity bill over a course of about 2 or 3 months, which I think really takes the mickey.
It's now up to the sheriffs to get them out.
Hello, enforcement agents!
Hired to cook a wedding feast, Tanya Nunn did the catering but never got the cash.
I considered it an awful lot of money to be owed to me.
But when the sheriffs meet the man responsible, he thinks he doesn't owe a penny.
You take my stuff away, that goes my business.
Yeah, I understand that.
All for the sake of something I've already paid.
And Tommy's on the Welsh coast looking to remove a boat.
It was originally 30 grand, sold for 20. They value it now at 15.
But its captain has other ideas.
You've obviously got no respect for me home.
You claim you live on the vessel,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
so
think you don't, and
yeah,
we don't think you do.
Today, High Court enforcement agents Michael Perkins and Michael Edwards are heading to Keighley in West Yorkshire. They're looking for a used car dealer who has a debt to pay.
We're looking for Mr. Ahmed Rashid, traded as a Motors for You. We're looking for around £2,700. We go into the commercial premises first, which is a used car lot.
It's likely there'll be plenty of assets to help clear the debt. But the sheriffs know from experience that establishing who owns them isn't always easy.
The only problems with doing commercials at garages is 9 times out of the 10, the vehicles will still be registered in someone else's name, or they will just be deregistered and waiting to be sold. So we've got to obviously ascertain and work out who the vehicles belong to. I'm hoping obviously with our attendance today, we'll be able to push for a payment in full.
The claimant in the case is Davis Seahorn. He first contacted Motors for You in Keighley when he was living in the Yorkshire countryside and was in desperate need of a car to get around.
I needed a vehicle where I was working because it's quite remote, it's in the Yorkshire Dales, so transportation's really vital. There's a 10-mile road, and if you try to cycle it'd take you about 5 hours.
Davis works for the church and needs to be able to travel long distances.
If I didn't have my car, I couldn't go to raise funds because all of my income was gifted from people in churches and individuals who wanted to support me. If I don't have a car, that's no money. I can't make ends meet. I can't go visit my family. I can't go out. You become really isolated.
Davis went online to look for a car. One in particular jumped out, a Vauxhall Corsa being sold by Motors for You.
This one had only 44,000 miles, which is quite low. It was in the price range. It was easy to get to. That one was the best. So when I phoned them, they were very, yeah, we have the car here. They're quite bubbly, quite seemed sincere, trustworthy, very official. So really it was all systems go.
Davis went to see the Corsa and was impressed both by the car and the guarantee it came with.
They said there was a warranty on it and I had a receipt. I was 100% sure that they'd be willing to say, that they were reasonable people, understand, the car's got an issue, we'll take it back. So I bought it and drove off.
Davis paid £850 and the next morning embarked on his first long-distance journey in his new wheels to a conference in Wales.
And I had to drive from Yorkshire to my parents' house to pick up some stuff and then to the conference centre. And as I was driving the car, it slowly started to make a bit of a chugging noise and it just started to sound like a bit like a steam train. And you're like, what is going on with this car? Pull over, double check the engine, looks all right, it's not getting too hot.
Davis immediately contacted Motors for You to tell them what had happened.
And he said, yeah, if there's anything wrong with the car, there's warranty on the engine and on the gearbox. And we said, oh, that's great. I've got a conference to go to. Once I get back up to where I was working in Yorkshire, go take it to a garage, get them to have a look at it and see what the problem was. So I asked the mechanic to have a look at it. Said, you know, it's making this funny noise. What's the diagnosis? And he had a look over and he said, it's definitely the timing chain, which was a bit alarming because in the advertisement it said it had a newly fitted timing chain.
Davis called Motors for You with the bad news.
So I said, look, the timing chain is replacing. I've had a report from a mechanic. You said there's a warranty. I'll come drop the car off whenever you're free this week and you can get it fixed. And he just downright said he wasn't going to do it. He just said, no, we're not going to do it. It's not under warranty. We said the warranty is on the gearbox and the chassis. And I was like, well, no, you said it was on the gearbox and the engine. You're lying.
But the company wouldn't budge. At risk of losing work, Davis was forced to spend even more of his own money to get his car back on the road.
And ultimately, I just decided I was going to pay for it myself, bite the bullet, and then if that fixed the issue with the car, then I'd just leave it and move on and just let it be. It was a costly bill. It was £520, and that, at the time, wiped me out.
Davis was out of pocket, but at least he was up and running again. Or so he thought.
I was driving home one night and I could just hear a noise in the background. Next day, the car was struggling to get up hills. It was barely doing over 25 miles an hour. Limped it to the mechanic and he said, that sounds like your bottom end bearings, which is the big old bearings in the bottom of your engine. And they basically, that's like the spinal cord of your car. If that goes, if those seize up, it's finished. He says it's a good chance that your engine bearings have just been rubbing together and just welding themselves as you've been driving the car.
By now, Davis had spent well over £1,000 on a car that was undrivable. In vain, he contacted Motors for You again, and again, and again.
Whenever I phoned them and contacted them about it, they were just really aggressive down the phone. They threatened to sue me for wasting their time, but really along the lines of, how dare you bring this issue to us? You have no right to come and waste our time.
Now penniless and carless, Davis tried to enter mediation with Motors for You to reclaim his money. When that failed, he took them to the county court, where he won a judgment in his favour. But Motors for You still didn't pay, and now he's decided to escalate his case to the High Court.
The friend who's studying law and is a bit more savvy than me, he said if you transfer the case to the High Court, you can then get a High Court enforcement agency to enforce the judgment. He says they'll be a lot more faster, they'll be more reliable. So it's through him that I was put in contact with the sheriffs.
In West Yorkshire, Michael Edwards and Mike Perkins, also known as Perky, are approaching the address they've been given for Motors for You.
I got a feeling it's in here, mate.
Yeah.
Because that's where the sat-nav's saying. I think it's in here.
Right.
They soon find a car lot. But there are no signs for Motors for You, or any other company for that matter.
I think it is that one, mate.
Possibly, yeah.
So they head towards what could be the office to see if they can find out more.
Oh, hang on a minute. Unit 8 Middleton Works, so it is the right place.
They've got the right address. Now they need to find someone from Motors for You, preferably its owner, Ahmed Rashid. Soon they spot a man who seems to be showing an interest in what they're up to.
I'm looking for Mr. Ahmed Rashid.
Yeah.
Don't know who you're on about? You don't know who I'm on about, no? He's supposedly runs from this porter cabin here.
Oh, I don't know it.
You don't know. Do you know the person who runs that?
Not really, why? Who are you?
We're High Court enforcement agents.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place, but I don't know you're on.
No, we're not in the wrong place because this is Unit 8, okay, and it's, what was just Unit 8?
Is the number here?
Say again?
Kind of unit, that's just a hook.
Well, yeah, but we've just seen documents in there that says Unit 8, so yeah. Okay.
Well, you after here anyway, who are you?
We're looking for Mr. What was his name again?
Ahmed Rashid.
There's no Mr. Rashid, there's only Mr. Ali and Hussein.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, this man clearly doesn't want the sheriffs around.
Well, no, we're here doing a job.
You're in the wrong place.
Say again?
You're in the wrong place.
We're not, because that's Unit 8.
Okay, all right, so, well,
I'm just...
I'm here just to help you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you know the person who's...
Obviously, you're disturbing my Christmas and we get out.
Well, no, we won't be leaving until we speak to someone. Why is people so attitudey with me today?
Later, the sheriffs turn detective.
There was a payment made 30th of the 8th. Today.
But will they be able to find the debtor, Mr. Rashid? Since squatting in residential buildings in England and Wales became a criminal offence in 2012, commercial premises have become a target for people wanting to take over and live for free in vacant properties. Today, High Court enforcement agents Gerald Anderson and Rob Foster are heading to Woolwich in southeast London with a writ of possession, a court order giving them the power to evict squatters with immediate effect. The building in question was until recently a family-run business.
This is a two-storey commercial building. We don't know how many squatters are there, which makes it quite a tricky one. Music has been heard in there, so we do know that it is occupied. There's 4 of us will attend there this morning and hopefully get an entry and evict whatever's within.
When the sheriffs pull up at the address, the shutters are down and the factory unit looks pretty secure.
Your bolt cutters, I think, Rob?
I think so.
Yep.
Rob and Gerald have come well prepared, and they've got all the tools they need.
That's the one there, is it? It's a nice big one for you. If I pass you the cutters.
Okay, I got it.
Good cut.
They're in, and they move on to the main door.
I'll give them a morning knock. Oh, open. Hello, enforcement agents!
Miraculously, the door is unlocked.
Go on then, pack yourself up. Pack yourself up, mate. Go on then, let's pack up.
Rob and Gerald move from room to room, telling the squatters it's time to go.
How do, mate? Pack up, start packing up, yeah? You can pack up as quick as we can, yeah? Sure. How many is here?
How many we have here?
10 people?
Got 10 people. Okay.
Yep, as quick as we can, pack up, yeah?
6 upstairs.
Right, and with the
1
female. There's 4 down
They're
here.
all getting their stuff together.
Yeah, same as
they were all
here.
here before.
Are they?
Yeah, there's a group upstairs. It was sort of, hello again. It was a bit like that.
This is the second time the group have been evicted from the property. Last time, they took absolutely everything with them.
They even had their own whole shower unit and plumbed it and carried the whole lot out.
And so the sheriffs are wary of a repeat performance.
They've got a fair amount of kit. There's TVs, there's wash machines and tumble dryers and everything. They could be a while trying to get rid of all this, couldn't they? Howdo, quick as you can, mate.
As they head back downstairs, one squatter makes it clear he's unhappy with his notice period.
If you really give people a proper notice, don't come 3 months later.
Oh, sorry about that.
You already found a new
Yeah,
building.
so
You're allowed to move.
Yeah.
But give a notice.
But give you 3 months' notice.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Oh God. Perhaps you shouldn't be here in the first place, maybe, eh?
That's a different business, you know.
Yeah. Well, we don't give notice, I'm afraid. That's why we're saying pack it up as quick as you can.
By law, a writ of possession doesn't require a notice period, and the sheriffs have found by experience that the element of surprise is necessary. Otherwise, the squatters will have a chance to barricade themselves in. But now that the building's under their control, Gerald and Rob know rushing them could backfire.
The more we can let them leave with, hopefully the less chance of them wanting to get back in to get their stuff back.
Slowly but surely, the squatters and their stuff are moving out of the building. And not a moment too soon for its owner, who's just arrived. While he appreciates some of the artwork,
That's quite nice, actually.
he soon comes across something he's less happy about.
That was your dad's office there, was it?
Yeah.
How many years did he have that there as the office? That must be hard to see, though.
It just takes the mickey. It takes the mickey, doesn't it?
Seeing Dad's office, now a squatty bedroom.
The owner's father ran the family welding business from here for many years. He was deeply affected by what happened after the business left.
And my dad has passed away earlier this year, and I think it's sort of the stress of the whole situation sort of added up to his high blood pressure, and we think it probably did contribute to his passing away.
The costs have been more than just emotional.
We're paying rates in the building, we're paying bills. I mean, last time they were in here, they racked up a £3,500 electricity bill over a course of about 2 or 3 months. And apparently they have like a gangmaster or something in there that rents out the property to tenants coming in, which I think really takes the mickey, making money.
And there's evidence elsewhere that this squat has been run for commercial gain illegally.
Their bar in a squat is selling cans of beer for £2.50, cocktails for £3 and bottles of water for £1. They've got no overheads, they're not paying gas, they're not paying rent, they're not paying electric, they're not paying for the water. That's a massive profit there, considering you can go out and pick up a crate of 10 beers for a tenner. So they're selling 24 beers at £2 for... What a profit.
The eviction is well underway. They're even doing their washing up and eating their remaining food.
Antique teapot, family heirloom.
Yes, we're gonna break it, so...
Finally, the squatters seem to be collecting their last possessions. As anything left behind would give them a reason to return, Gerald wants to be absolutely sure.
Is that finished now? Anything else to collect? Do you want to ask if anybody else has got... Has anybody got anything else they need to collect, or is that it's finished now?
You have to go inside. You have to go inside, go now.
Do you want to have another walk through to make sure that there's nothing you've forgotten? No?
We're okay then.
Okay?
Thank you.
Cheers. They said that's it. Okay. Finito.
When a hire van arrives and the squatters start loading up, Gerald is satisfied.
They've now vacated. They've taken, I think, anything that they feel is a decent possession with them, and just obviously discarded their rubbish here. There doesn't seem to be much structural damage within the buildings. Walls haven't been knocked down, etc. But there's a lot of mess for the landlord to clear up here. There's a fair few skips and lorries of rubbish that he's now got to remove.
The landlord has already had to bear substantial costs for the squatter's occupation and eviction. Now he faces an even bigger bill to return the building to use. Potentially dangerous electrics will need to be made safe. Artwork on the walls covered up and repaired, and huge piles of rubbish and abandoned possessions must be disposed of.
It's quite stressful, and these guys, these squatters out there, having a laugh and a joke. Hopefully now we're actually addressing the situation properly, and hopefully they won't be able to get back in, because we'll have some people occupying the building.
With as many of the potential exit and entry points as possible now locked or boarded up, the sheriffs do one final thing which might deter the squatters from coming back.
So essentially, when we've done one of these jobs, we'll put a possession notice up on the door, just advising the possession has been taken. It's a real criminal offence to re-enter and whatnot. They are read by the squatters, and sometimes it puts them off. Other times it's merely a formality, it means nothing to them and they'll ignore it completely.
Rob and Gerald leave, hopeful that this time the squatters are gone for good.
Hungry now?
Yeah, a bit peckish. Another one bites the dust, Roberto.
Indeed.
Enforcement agents Michael Perkins and Michael Edwards are in West Yorkshire, looking for a company called Motors for You. The address they've been given has led them to this car lot, but it's deserted, and with no signs on display, the sheriffs still don't know if it's the company they're after. Perky thinks the office might hold some clues. And luckily, the door's been left unlocked.
Here we go.
It's not long before his detective work pays off.
Banking totals for Motors for You.
Okay.
Okay, that's who we're looking for, aren't we? There was a payment made 30th of the 8th.
Today?
Today. Okay, so there is a company here that is trading as our defendant company.
So this is definitely the company they're looking for.
Diligent searches get you everywhere. Plenty of receipts, mate, in Motors for You.
Perky's also found paperwork in the name of the debtor, Mr. Ahmed Rashid.
Yeah, I've got A. Rashid for Think Motors.
But it has him down under another company name, Think Motors.
He's obviously running from here, I'd say, multiple companies selling the vehicles.
Perky takes his time to photograph and catalogue the evidence. He's also found a phone number for one of the companies. And Michael does the honours.
Oh, hello there. The one's Mr. Edwards. I'm looking for Ahmed Rashid.
Or Motors for You.
Motors for You. He's said you got the wrong number and then put the phone down.
Okay, of course.
There may not be any sign of the debtor, but now the sheriffs are certain they're in the right place, they can check out the assets that could settle the debt.
Oh, we've got a 13 plate here, BMW, for 6,000. Also got a nice one here as well. Got a 61 plate BMW.
Perky calls the office to run some background checks on the cars.
Could you do 4 DVLAs for me, please? And I need glass valuations as well.
It's good news from the office. The cars are registered to the company, and there's more than enough value in them to cover the outstanding debt of £2,700.
We've got 2 vehicles HP free. One's at 7,000, one's at 6,000.
As their efforts to contact Mr. Rashid have come to nothing, Michael gets on the phone to arrange for the cars to be towed.
Oh, hello there. Hi. Yeah, we're High Court enforcement agents. We're actually around the corner from your office, and we've got to remove 2 vehicles. I'm wondering if you could help us out at all.
While they're waiting, Perky gets the clamps out to ensure nobody can drive the cars away.
That's number 1 on.
But while he's clamping the second BMW, the sheriffs start to get some attention from a couple of men. One of them is the man they met earlier, who said he didn't know anything about Ahmed Rashid or Motors for You. Neither of them are happy.
Sir, we're here to do a job, okay? And that's what we're doing. So Mr. Ahmed Rashid, trading as Motors for You, needs to come to me now, okay, and pay just under 4 grand, okay, now. If he decides to come over and pay that, we'll all be on our merry way, we'll unclamp the vehicles and go. But if he doesn't pay, okay, we are then going to remove the vehicles, they'll go in secure storage, 7 days, and then they'll be sold at public auction, okay?
The men claim that Motors for You does not exist at this address and challenge Perky to show them the evidence.
You need to show proof before this is Motors for You.
What do you mean? I'll show you the proof, shall I? Come with me for a minute.
But it doesn't play out quite as Perky had hoped.
Right, whoever's locked this up, you got the key for this?
Someone has shut the door to the office, and the payment receipt the sheriffs found earlier has mysteriously disappeared.
Okay, and your PDQ machine has vanished away. Luckily, we have smartphones. And guess what we done? We took pictures of it all. Think we were born yesterday? Think not. You got 2 options, pay the bill, or the vehicles are going.
It's becoming increasingly obvious that these men have some connection to this business. They're also beginning to become threatening.
We're locking. Well, then lock us up, and then we'll just get a locksmith and cut the locks.
One of the men makes a phone call. The sheriff suspect he might be calling for reinforcements. And they're right. Just as the recovery truck arrives, so does a group of young men.
I need to just quickly ring the police.
Call him, just go call him.
Michael's taking no chances and is straight on the phone.
Which is that one? Hello there, hi, police, please. We've clamped 2 vehicles at a dealership, but there's various males here that have come down, basically give us false information. We found them out, and now they're not happy about it.
Michael was right to be concerned. The men appear to be looking for confrontation.
Excuse me?
Excuse what?
Excuse me?
Property man.
It's all right, we've got a High Court writ to attend
Show
here.
me.
I don't need to show you.
Why?
Because I don't know who you are, for one. You're not the
I don't
defender.
know who you are.
It's
Show
right.
me the writ.
It's right, the police...
Between you and me, it's a
police-
one-on-one, mate. It's you and me.
The police are on the
you
way,
haven't
so
showed
don't
me,
worry.
call me.
I don't need
Yeah?
to show you anything.
I'll put you in this area on your quicker than you can say goodbye.
Okay,
yeah?
mate, okay.
Send you home naked.
Okay.
Later, as the threats continue,
I told him to chop off.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks, bye.
the sheriffs face an anxious wait for the police. If you've won a county court judgment which hasn't been paid, for £66 you can get the case transferred up to the High Court, which will issue a writ for enforcement by the sheriffs.
Hello?
I'm an enforcement agent enforcing a High Court writ.
I'm here just to execute the court order.
They've got special powers.
We're going to force entry into the shop in about the next 10-15 minutes.
I have the right, under the writ, to investigate.
If you obstruct myself or my colleague, it is a criminal offence.
There's no limit on the size of the debts they can pursue.
£14 million. It's the largest job I've ever done.
He can pay it directly into our account from Spain.
If they're successful, they'll recover your money and costs from the debtor.
Thanks.
Thank you.
As well as their own fees, which are set by the government.
It was that amount there until 5:30. I don't stand here for 3 hours for nothing.
If the sheriffs can't get your money, they'll ask you to pay another £75 plus VAT to cover their costs. High Court enforcement agent John Farley is in the home counties, on his way to what will turn out to be an unusual job. He's looking for a company which provides entertainment for events.
So we're in Wokingham today, going to see a company called Berkshire Events Limited. We know we're going to a registered office, looking for a balance of around £3,000 today.
Bearing in mind the nature of the business, John's not sure what kind of assets will be available to help him enforce the writ.
Probably looking at computers, desks, usual office equipment. We're going to have to try and use that as our leverage. I don't think we're going to find like event equipment. It's not that type of address that we're going to be visiting. I'm sure they're more of an organiser rather than an actual holder of events.
The debtor owes the money to Tanya Nunn, a keen cook who runs her own catering business.
We deal with all types of catering, weddings, hog roasts, barbecues, parties, christenings, funerals, everything. There's only me, but obviously then I get people in to help me if it's a bigger event. And we just cater in the local area. We've been doing it for over 20 years.
One of her recipes for success has been the steady stream of bookings she's received from Berkshire Events Limited and its owner, Jason Lewis.
I've known Jay a few years. He runs a events company and I run a catering company, so quite often he'll be the DJ somewhere and I'll be doing the catering. It's a nice guy, outgoing. When we saw each other, it would obviously be friendly, etc., etc. And I now feel it would be very difficult if we bumped into each other.
Their relationship turned sour when Jason employed Tanya to do the catering at a wedding he was organising. Their usual arrangement was that Tanya would be paid up front, but on this occasion, there was a hiccup.
Just before the event, I sent him an invoice and it wasn't paid within a few days, which was unusual. So I contacted him, and he informed me that he had paid into the new bank account that I had sent him the details of, which straight away put panic in because I hadn't sent him an email.
It soon became clear that the pair had been the victim of fraudsters. A fake email sent from Tanya's account had been used to trick Jason into paying her fee to somebody else.
It looked like it had come from me, but the wording wasn't right. It said something about, due to tax reasons on this, I need to have it paid into a different account. I would have thought the fact that we'd known each other for quite a while, he would have contacted me and said, is this right? But he didn't. I didn't think it would be that bad. I thought we could sort it out.
Confident the issue of payment would get resolved one way or another, Tanya went ahead with the wedding anyway, covering the costs herself.
I couldn't not do the catering because the bride and groom had paid their money. We provided a 3-course sit-down meal in the day, and we provided a hog roast in the evening. So it's a long old day.
And once the event was out of the way, Tanya discussed with Jason how they'd settle the outstanding bill, which came to £1,600.
I thought maybe the banks would sort it out to start with, and then when I realised that that wasn't going to happen, I did say to him about going 50-50, and I did say to him, the thing is, the only person it's cost money is me, because I've paid out for food and staff and everything else, so it would only be fair that if this money can't be retrieved, that we go halves on this situation. To which he said he couldn't afford it, he had problems, and he wouldn't do that.
In fact, Jason wasn't willing to pay her anything at all. He blamed her for the incident, saying it was her email account that had been hacked.
Basically, it was never his fault, and it was always mine. He said he'd paid the money, and he wasn't going to pay it twice. I'm a small business. I considered it an awful lot of money to be owed to me. I did have to borrow some money to keep going for a while.
In the end, Tanya decided to seek advice.
I spoke to Citizen Advice, and they assured me that it is the person paying the money into the bank. It is their responsibility to ensure that it is paid into the correct account. When I heard that it wasn't my fault, I'd messaged him and he messaged back a few times, and then the messaging just stopped. And I just thought, no, don't ignore me. That's what really, really got me going. I've tried to reason with Jason, I've tried to make a deal with Jason. I'd had enough and thought, right, well, the only option I've got is to go to court.
As Jason didn't offer a defence, Tanya won a judgment by default. When she still wasn't paid, she turned to the sheriffs.
We were friends, and it is sad. It's been very stressful. I'm not really sure whether I will get my money or not. I hope so.
Although it is an unfortunate case, the law is on Tanya's side, and it's down to John to make sure she's finally paid what she's owed.
Indigo. There we go.
John has located the business centre where the company is based and heads in.
My name's John Farley from High Court Enforcement. I'm looking for a company called Berkshire Events Limited. Thank you.
He's led through the building.
Bit of a maze.
And finds Jason Lewis at his desk.
Hi there, sir. How you doing?
You all right? I'm good, thank you.
John Farley from High Court Enforcement.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Here in relation to an outstanding High Court writ that's been issued.
Wonderful.
Regarding Mrs. Tanya Nunn, trading as a bit of a do.
Yes.
Here to collect an outstanding balance.
Well, this is where I have problems. I never knew that it went this far.
Okay.
Before John goes any further, Jason wants him to hear the full story.
I booked her for an event. She sent me an email through with an invoice. Then a couple of minutes later, I received another email saying, do not pay into my normal account, please pay into this account. So I paid the monies into that account. Then we found out she'd been hacked.
Okay.
Obviously, not nice to happen to anyone. I understand from Tanya's point of view to take it forward, but I don't think she's looking at my point of view.
Yeah.
Saying, well, I've already paid.
Yeah.
Despite a county court judgment in his name, Jason still thinks he shouldn't have to pay. But as it isn't John's job to debate the rights or wrongs of the law, he explains that now is not the time to argue.
I don't even know what she did for you, so we're completely impartial to it. So all I know is that she took a county court judgment out against the company.
And I didn't even know about that either.
Yeah. Now, then it was transferred up on the 30th of October to ourselves. My sole job is to here look at removing goods or collect payments. Stop that.
Okay, none of that's going to happen today.
You have 14 days to contest any payment that's made.
Yes.
If you get the stay, we will hold the monies until the outcome of the hearing.
I can't afford to pay it twice. I've already paid it
There's
once.
nothing I can do.
There's nothing I can do. I don't have the money.
With Mr. Lewis showing no signs at all of being willing to pay what he owes, John will have little choice but to take this enforcement to the next level. Michael and Perky are at Motors for You in Keighley, where they're trying to collect money on behalf of Davis Seahorn, who was sold a faulty car.
Send you home naked. Okay. We're outside your house.
So far, everyone here's denied having anything to do with Motors for You or its boss, Ahmed Rashid. But suddenly, out of the blue, one of the men says he's ready to cut a deal.
I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll give you 200 quid and then we'll go to court and fight the case.
No.
Why?
We're here for the full balance.
But you
Or the
can tell
vehicles.
No, you can tell the court.
It doesn't work like that.
Why?
Because it doesn't work like that.
No, but what?
When Perky doesn't accept the offer, the threats against him become increasingly bizarre. And still, there's no sign of the police.
I told him I'm going to chop your off.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to do that,
What you can't do, yeah?
that's all right then.
Where's the police?
They're on the way.
Around here, do you know how long the response time is? 15 minutes, mate. I could have naked in 15 minutes.
Was that another threat, was it?
The situation is becoming increasingly menacing. But the sheriffs hold their ground.
I'm saying we give 200 quid, we'll go to Liverpool.
It doesn't work like that. I've told you that. Full balance plus recovery, then you'll have 14... One second. Then you'll have 14 days, okay, to take it to court. You all right?
Just when things are looking like they might get out of hand, the police arrive.
Who's the boss here?
I'm the boss.
You wish you were.
No, I am.
The man who was most vocal with his threats slopes off and takes his friends with him. The game is up, and it's now crunch time.
Going around in circles. Are you going to pay?
Yeah, don't talk
Or the
to me like
defendant
that.
company? No? Well, yeah, but
You're not my dad.
you're not listening to me now.
I'm saying we pay 200 pounds.
No.
I understand.
Why can't you ring? Why don't you ring the court and
The
tell
full
them?
balance needs to be paid, sir. Do you know
Well,
what?
so I'll just
We'll
get this
remove the
sorted, yeah.
vehicles
That's
then.
No, you
fine.
can't remove the
Yes, we
vehicle.
Yeah,
can.
we will.
If you get in the way, you will be arrested.
Perky gives him one last chance to make a payment in full of £3,344.24. The man reluctantly agrees, but Perky doesn't trust him.
Are you paying this bill? Okay? No, because he's trying to cancel it. If we cancel it and then you tell us in 10 minutes you're not paying, okay, then it's going to jump up another 500 quid.
The man says he wants to pay in cash, so Perky starts the clock.
I'm sorry, but this could have been sorted out like 3 hours ago. You got 30 minutes, okay? The clock's ticking.
Half an hour later, the man who claimed he knew nothing of Ahmed Rashid or Motors for You makes payment in full. But in a final act of defiance, he's refusing to take the receipt.
If you don't, I'll go and tape it to the window. It's fine. Okay. All the relevant information is in that letter. So if you choose to open it, that's down to you. So we've had a result on that. They decided to make payment in full. Job done. 3.5 grand, one happy client.
It's been a hard-won victory for the sheriffs, and it's a great result for Davis.
I'm really thankful for all the hard work that the sheriffs have put in. That money I've got, it's not a lot for some people, but for me it's quite a big amount. That's the start of a down payment towards a house for me. That's really big news. I can move out of my parents' house, which would be fun. It opens a door, quite a big door for me.
When debtors can't pay on the spot,
You need to get this paid today.
Are you going to pay the bill?
the sheriffs won't always remove assets. Goods go for about a fifth of their true value at auction, and it's often better to agree to a payment plan.
550 due the 10th every month.
They'll make a list of assets.
That's a nice motor.
Bandsaw,
Yeah.
Sahara.
And a controlled goods agreement is signed, making it an offence for anyone else to remove them.
You sign it, I sign it.
The sheriffs will only return to take the items if the debtor fails to make payments.
Set them up on a fairly hefty arrangement, so it's definitely the best result.
Today, High Court enforcement agents Tommy Coyle, Dave Steele and Michael Perkins are on a road trip to North Wales.
Is that snow on the mountains I can see?
Conwy Council has been taken to court by a local man called Darren Scott in a dispute over mooring rights. Mr. Scott's case was thrown out of court, with a judge describing his evidence as extraordinary and unworthy of belief. He was ordered to pay the council's legal costs, but hasn't done so, and now the sheriffs are attempting to recover £32,000 of taxpayers' money.
He's actually met with one of our agents. He's well aware of this. He's also had a notice of enforcement that was sent out prior to the visit. He's refused payment outright. That's why we found out about the asset and the third-party address. That's why we've gone to get the court order to attend there to remove.
The asset in question is a 5-ton, 30-foot boat.
Two options, one of him there, which is going to cause an absolute mayhem, and this could be an all-day situation, or he doesn't turn up and we have the result of just recovering the vessel, securing it, go and serve the documents to his property, so all the legality sides are covered, and we're done, and we're off.
They're hoping for the latter, but Tommy's doubtful.
It's Dave's birthday, it's good jinxed, isn't it? So that's not going to happen.
Does the birthday boy buy the cream cakes later on?
Cream cakes?
The boat they need to seize is moored at Conwy Harbour. When the sheriffs pull up at the waterfront, they're met by Harbour Master Matthew Forbes. The question is, has anyone seen the owner, Darren Scott?
Do you know if he's about or anything?
He probably will be tipped off at some point and make an appearance. Or he may not show up at all, but I think that's wishful thinking.
Okay.
First, the sheriffs get dressed for the occasion.
A little bit snug. You're Captain Pugwash.
No, thank you. Then they catch a lift with the harbour master to where the boat is moored. Tommy's in his element.
I've been on the sea a few times, yeah. Back in, well, a few years ago now. So back when I was in the Marines, obviously done a lot of exercises. Yeah, it's not new to me, being on the sea. I think Mike's a bit disturbed, he's looking a bit green.
Is that one there, Tom?
Yeah.
They spot the boat they're looking for and pull up alongside. The debtor has previously claimed that the boat is his home. So Tommy and Mike get on board to check whether he's there.
He ain't in here, is he? It's not well kept, is it? And obviously he's clearly not living on here, is he? While you're in here now, do a video on your phone.
The sheriffs record video evidence to prove that nobody is living on board. Then the boat is tethered to the harbour master's vessel and released from its mooring.
The captain's deck, Tommy. Aye, aye, Captain.
The boat is now seized, and the team begin towing it back to the marina. Tommy is pretty impressed with their catch.
It's a bit of a mess, but if it's all tidied up, I think it'll be a lovely little vessel. Makes me want to get something like this myself one day. Sail off into the sun. Oh, Dave's up.
Even Mike's getting into the swing of sea life. But there are occupational hazards.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
One small gust of wind and the paperwork Dave's diligently been filling out is overboard.
That's gone. That's gone.
Just check in the file, Tommy, that the other paperwork's there. All gone.
Dave will now have to fill in his paperwork all over again. But as they near the shore, thoughts turn to the more serious matter of how to deal with the debtor if he has turned up at the harbour.
If you stay on, me and Dave will stand down. Dave, you finish back and I'll speak to him if he comes.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll see a bit of a plan in it. And because if he's trying to get on, at least you're up here and just, well, yeah, don't let him get on.
Luckily, as they enter the marina, there's no sign of Mr. Scott. The team waste no time, and the boat is immediately lifted out of the water.
You can't sail it away now.
Later, the enforcement gets stormy when Darren Scott finally makes an appearance.
What legislation are you seeing in the vessel?
We're doing it under a High Court writ.
I'm not the owner of that vessel, I'm just the master. I am saying this is illegal. You've obviously got no respect for me home.
Enforcement agent John Farley is in the offices of Berkshire Events Limited and its director, Jason Lewis. The company owes £2,900 to caterer Tanya Nunn, who provided the food for a wedding. Mr. Lewis was tricked by an email scam into paying her fee to someone else, and despite Tanya offering to go halves on the loss, she hasn't received a penny.
I can't afford to pay it twice. I've already paid it
There's
once.
nothing I can do.
There's nothing I can do. I don't have the money.
With Mr. Lewis showing no signs at all that he plans to come up with the money, John ups the ante.
My job's quite clear then, and that is to look at enforcing to remove. And that's computers. I know there's a van potentially, a Ford Transit, an 08 Transit, that as well. So, I mean, you don't want it to particularly escalate, because I'll show you. So the outstanding balance is 2906 today.
How much?
Yeah.
It was 2,000.
Have you got the notice of enforcement?
Yeah.
So you basically have 7 days to pay that. If you don't pay that or come to an agreeable agreement, you're liable for these costs.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. They're set out by the Ministry of Justice.
The Ministry of Justice.
By failing to pay within 7 days of receiving the sheriff's notice of enforcement, Mr. Lewis's bill has gone up.
£1,617, which I've already paid, gets £2,001 extra, which I don't want to pay in the first place, and now go to £2,900, which I don't want to pay either, which I can't afford to pay. And you take my stuff away, that goes my business.
Yeah, I understand that.
All for the sake of something I've already paid.
Yeah. If it goes to the removal stage, it goes up to another 708.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How can someone so innocent be so screwed over?
Mr. Lewis still isn't willing to accept any liability for the debt. But realising he's running out of options, he offers to pay John the earlier amount.
I can pay that, I can't pay the £2,900.
They're set. They're set. As soon as we turn up, they're set.
Absolutely ridiculous.
If Mr. Lewis had accepted Tanya's original offer, it would have cost him just £800. But even now, faced with a bill nearing £3,000, he's adamant he did the right thing.
There's even a point I've got thinking, well, to resolve this, I'll pay her costs for the event.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, no, I've already paid. Stop it, I've already paid. What can I do?
So.
What can I do?
Finally, the penny drops.
How do I pay?
A transfer is probably the quickest way.
There's no money in my business account, so I'm going to have to do it from my personal account. Okay, no bank details, please.
Jason goes online to make the payment. But still can't resist showing John further proof he's in the right.
On the show for the record, 27th February, paid Tanya Nunn invoice to her, £1,686.95.
As I said, I'm acting under the court have already said that you owe it.
I don't owe it, she's just never had it.
Yeah, yeah.
Reluctantly, Mr. Lewis finally transfers the money. and John checks with the office that it's come through.
Looking for 2906.90.
I'll let you take the van.
That's it. Perfect. Cheers. Thank you. Paid in full. That's the court where it's all lodged at.
With that, John heads to the van, leaving Jason to once again protest his innocence.
It is an unfortunate event. Hacking is horrible, but there should only be one victim and it shouldn't be me. £1,689 has turned into a further £2,900, so it's become a very expensive three-course meal.
Feel a bit sorry for him. He's obviously been a victim of fraud, and the claimant has, but ultimately we're acting on the court's judgment, and the judgment in this case is that he owes the money and he can contest it a little bit later on down the line. He has 14 days to do that through the statutory embargo, or if it goes past that period, he can still contest it a little bit later on.
Berkshire Events Limited never did go back to court, and Tanya Nunn has finally got the money she was owed.
When I heard that the sheriffs had been in and got my money back, I was absolutely ecstatic. Getting this money back has been really, really important. I am just a small business. It was a lot of money to me, and now it's finally in the bank. Thanks so much to the sheriffs. I hope I don't ever be in this situation again, but if I was, then I would definitely go down this route again. That's been great.
At Conwy Harbour in Wales, Tommy, Dave and Mike are overseeing the removal of a boat.
Looking like a successful job at the moment. Don't want to jump the gun, there's nothing to go wrong, but it's looking good at the moment.
So far, there's no sign of the debtor Darren Scott, who owes £32,000 to the council. The boat's plastered in mussels and badly needs a bit of a spruce, but otherwise appears to be in reasonable condition. Tommy's been trying to get an estimate of its value.
I just had a chat with the broker guy. He said it was originally 30 grand, sold for 20. They value it now at 15. He says it will sell for 12. Result, isn't it?
£12,000 will go some way towards covering the debt. But just when they think this job's plain sailing, Mr. Scott arrives.
Right, is it Scott, is it?
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
I do.
Show you some identification. He's got video audio recording, Scott.
Right, okie doke, yeah.
Darren, yeah, we've got an application to be here today to remove the vessel. Do you know what it's all to do with?
I haven't got a clue now.
Right, I'll give you some information now. Conwy County Borough Council.
Yeah.
That ring a bell, an agent come round and
Give me the paperwork, I'll read it myself.
yeah, I've got to serve you this anyway, so you've got this here today.
What legislation you see is in the vessel?
We're doing it under a High Court writ.
I'm not the owner of that vessel, I'm just the master.
The sheriffs have evidence that Mr. Scott does own the boat, but now he comes up with another reason why they can't take it.
That isn't my address.
Is not where you live?
No, I live on that vessel.
Right, okay, so you claim you live on the vessel,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they think you don't, and we don't think you do.
I've got a tenancy agreement if you want to see that.
High Court enforcement agents cannot remove goods that are essential for the basic domestic needs of the defendant.
I am saying this is illegal. You've obviously got no respect for me home. Right.
But Tommy's on solid ground with his video evidence showing that the boat is uninhabited. Dave's had enough. They're seizing the boat today.
Take your own legal advice and go through whatever you need to do. Obviously, you're going to do anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'll get in touch with the owner and they'll make a third-party claim.
We're just doing our job at the end of the day, Darren, and that's what we've done. So we can only
advise you. You've got to have the paperwork in order, haven't you? And it does say here, goods belonging to the claimant. You said you've got reason to believe. But you've not shown me any evidence of this. You just give me your paperwork.
We're not here to show you.
There should be more files than this, especially the documents you put into court.
All we're doing, Darren, is enforcing.
If
you listen to me, we're enforcing a High Court writ of control,
right?
And that is our job. Anything to do with it is not our concern. That's the claimant and the defendant.
Well, I'm just going to check this over for damage. Do you want it?
Realising he's getting nowhere, the debtor thinks he might have more luck checking if his boat has been damaged during the removal. But two can play at that game.
What I'll do, actually, while he's doing that, Dave, I want to do a video of the underside of it. He's going to claim all sorts, isn't he?
He thinks he's found some damage to the boat's propeller.
You want to film from it? Can you get a close-up on that there and see how it's shiny? See here where it's shiny and been scraped recently? See how it's not covered in barries and it's...
Yeah, it's been jet washed.
With the boat inspection over, the debtor makes one last-ditch attempt to get his initial argument to stick.
Because it's not my boat, you know what I mean?
Oh,
if you're going to take the boat to pay my debt,
He needs to send a third-party claim in, and we'll look at that claim.
I'm pretty sure they will do.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's us done, Darren. You've got your paperwork.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take care, yourself, Darren.
See you now.
Ta-da. Bye-bye.
The debtor marches off and his boat is taken into storage. It's the end of another successful enforcement for the team.
It won't clear the full balance, but it will obviously get some money back for the claimant. So yeah, job done, job well done.
It's now illegal for Mr. Scott to board the boat, and if he doesn't pay off his debt, it'll be sold. The proceeds will be used to refund taxpayers for the costs incurred by Conwy Council in their legal battle with Mr. Scott. But before they can leave North Wales, there's one last job for the sheriffs.
Getting you a birthday cake. Oh, what can we have? I'm going to have a donut, a jam donut.
Is that what you want for your birthday, jam donut? Can we have a jam donut, please? And a custard donut.
I'll have a vanilla slice as well, mate.
Happy birthday, mate.
Delicious.
Put the icing on the cake.
We took him on a boat, we brought him a cake.
Oh, I'm well looked up today.
Mr. Scott's partner later entered a third-party claim, saying the boat belonged to her. This is currently being disputed by the council.
Crazy cons and scandalous scams, the real hustle on holiday, undercover, and with celebrity scammers on iPlayer now. And it could be a sculpture by world-famous Giacometti, but there's no leads. So where to start? Fake or fortune? Next.
lupa chia cha chia ya tao pe thiên trời yên tri chúa cơ trên dâu cho có cho kê phong dư có nhỏ có tư nhỏ đi lời gì có yên tu cho lời yên yêu đồng cha thì tu cu pa la có lu xie rong thì có lu chê thao có khi kê tay cu thiê màu lên mùa gạo xưa lo nhỏ hậu ư cho kê bao xuống bỏ cơ y plia xia địa đi plau chế có mua lỡ có gì đủ chi tê châu có ư gì bỏ họ có xia lo tay châu đùa xia lấy mua gạo mong có lu xia đơn vì ô tu nhà mu rong lên xe sư lo nhau cho kỳ bao số họ có ý blia xia địa li plau chỉ có mua lời có gì lạnh đủ chỉ để châu có ư si bao thọ có xia lo tới châu đua xia lấy mua gạo máu có lu xia đơn hi vua tu nhà mu rong lấy xia